All right, let's switch gears as we look ahead to the Monaco Diamond League that's happening this Friday. And Noah Lyles really just announced he'd be competing in this meet a few days before, making his Diamond League debut in the 200 meters against the reigning Olympic champion Lyles Tebogo. Perdita, what should we realistically expect from Noah, given that he hasn't raced yet this season?
You know what? I don't even know. I don't even know how to answer this question because the fact that he hasn't raced all season, for me, it also just feels a little bit troubling because you know how it is. Like, this is a hell of a rust buster. Like, you've actually picked a really big race to like see where you stand, but it tells me, Aaron, that he knows that he has something in his legs and he's not really worried. And again, we saw Let Sile run a 19.7 after a month and a bit off. So I think he's going to come firing on all cylinders. If Noah loses really bad, though, I will be worried. But I don't think he's going to beat Let's Sile at all. I have a question, though, for you quickly on this. Do you think
Okay.
having a bye, as a world champion, you just get in automatically? In particular
Yeah.
with Noah or just any athlete, do you think that's actually a hindrance for someone?
I think it's a gift and a curse because you can get too complacent resting on that buy, saying, "Oh, I have time, I have time, I have time," and you're not going through with the same vigor. You're not approaching your training the same with the same hunger. Like going into the Olympics, there are no buys, so everybody
Sure.
knows they have to bring their A game to trials, and they have to be peaked and ready to go and go through the season as they normally would. But when you have that buy, you're not as hungry to go out there and prove yourself. You think, they're running fast, but I have time, and by the time we get to the World Championships at the end of the season, I'll be ready. And that could come back to hurt you. People might open up too late, and it just doesn't flow the same way. They're not used to the same rhythm, the same cadence of going through the season where they develop and hit certain spots by the a certain part of the year. So it's yet to
Mm,
be seen. There have been people who have successfully done it and went through the season and had that buy and use it to their advantage.
yeah.
But there's also been people who it's bit them. They
Yeah.
they ran out of time. They weren't as sharp, and by the time the World Championships rolled around, they just weren't ready. And someone else
That's fair.
came and snatched the throne. They took the momentum, and that
Yeah.
helped them and buoyed them to ultimately beat the defending world champion at the world champ. So it remains to be seen. But as far as Noah Lyles goes, I feel like this announcement that he's running against Tebogo, who, as we talked to Addo earlier, we know he's probably got a grudge against him after what he lost in the Paris 200-meter final last year. I think it's bullish. And I think the fact that he's opening up, he means he's confident. He can open up in the 200. He's always said that this event is his baby. So he's not going to want to go out there and lose again to the
Nope.
same guy that beat him last year. So I think it's bullish. And I feel like he took this race knowing that, okay, I have to be on my A game, racing the Olympic champion, racing the world leader who just ran 19.7. And I think he's confident.
Okay, we have to move on, but I want a yes or no from you, Aaron. Will Noah beat Let's Sile?
Ooh, you stumped me. I didn't know that was coming. I'm
It's
going to go
coming.
with yes.
Oh, okay. I'm yes to. I'm yes to. And it's not in or out, but we're all in on that. Okay. Here's the 800 meters. Because this race, we got to talk about it because it is going to be one to watch. And it's because the top 8 runners in the world are in this field of 12. Can you believe that the entire podium placers from Paris 2024 are all in Monaco, including Marco Arop, including Marco Arop, Marco, including Marco Arop, who is 3 for 3 in Grand Slam track. He now makes his Diamond League season debut against the very best. So, AB, are you riding out for your boy Marco, even if this field is stacked, stacked, stacked? What say you?
Come on, man. It's Marco we're talking about here. I'm
True.
always going with Marco. I'm always riding for him.
Same.
Not just because he's a Canadian, but also being objective as objective as I can be. Did you see that graphic? Did you see how close he was to winning, to being Paris
Sure
Olympic
did.
champion? I mean,
Sure
it
did.
doesn't get much closer than that. And I feel like he's only gonna keep ascending. He's hungrier, and I feel like sometimes when you're so close and he just missed it by a little bit,
Yeah.
you're going to push even harder than the guy who did pull it out. So I think this is the year of Marco. I feel like he's going to repeat as a champion. That's somebody who won the world championships, and I feel like is not letting that by derail his preparations for the world championships. That's someone who's doing it right and still approaching and getting that momentum going into the worlds. And Marco's definitely full of surprises. Great performances like we saw in the 15 at the Grand Slam.
Yes.
And I think he's going to use that newfound endurance and apply it in this 800 against this stacked field.
Yep, I agree with you on that. I'm Team Marco on this one as well. And again, go back to, I think it was episode 2, he was on our show. The drip check, the fit check, all that. Like, we got to teach him how to trash talk. But Marco, he's the one. He's the one.
Last, we got Australian sprinting sensation Gout Gout, who's racing in the under 23 200-meter race in Monaco. And after his last performance in Ostrava, are you disappointed he won't be racing in the main event against the likes of Tebogo and Noah Lyles?
No, I am not. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, he's scared. He's ducking. Where is he? Y'all leave that little boy alone. He's a man-child, okay? He's not even 18 years. Is he 17? He's so young. So I have no issues with him being in the under 23 race. And I think his agents, his handlers, his coach, whoever, understand that his career could be really long. Pressure is going to come. Expectations going to come. The travel is going to come. All of that. Let him go in steps, in increments, and whatever he needs to do. You don't have to throw him to the wolves. Throw him in the deep end right now. There's a world championship on the line. Again, there's an Olympics in a few years. Let him do what he needs to do. Would we love to see it? Is it great for us? Do I want my tea and my popcorn, my crumpets to watch? Yes. But I think let him evolve at the right pace. And I think we're going to get even more from Gout Gout. And I said what I said.
You're eating crumpets. That's we got to up your snack game.
I don't even know what those
But
are.
I'm going to take the I'm going to take the opposite take of you. And I love when we're on opposite sides. It makes for fun banter. But for me, is he a pro or is he not? I mean, he just raced in Ostrava against the pros. He showed that he's capable of doing it. Why are we ducking when it's the Olympic champion and the Olympic silver or Olympic bronze medalist in the race? You know, I mean, I understand his handlers are doing their job. They want to protect his image. They want to protect his development and not throw him against the top people in the world so prematurely. But are they going to do that at the World Championships? Is he going to run at the under 23 section there? No, last time I checked, they didn't have that.
Rude.
And I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled with the likes of Arian Knighton and other teen sensations who've just came in and snatched it. They weren't afraid to go at people's necks at a young age.
And how are they doing now? How are they doing now? No shade.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, Arian finished 4th last year, so he did pretty well. But I mean, what do they have to lose? You know, if he doesn't go out there and beat
Aaron
Noah
Brown, how
Lyles
many years have you been racing pro now? How many years have you been racing pro now? I'm just going to interrupt you quickly.
About 10-ish, 10, 11, around there.
Exactly. That is rare. You know how rare that is to be professional and pro, like, same thing, for 10 years, a decade? That's hard. And that's because you did things properly in the beginning. Why are you throwing this man's to be eaten up by Letsile and Noah? That time will come. Let's allow him.
So what? Is he just going to pick the race based on who's in it and say, there's too much heat in this race. I'm going to go in the under 23 section.
And then I'll give you licks at the Worlds and the Olympics. That's what I would do if it were.
Hey, if it pays off, then I'll eat my words. But I just feel like get the exposure now so you're not putting too much pressure on yourself when you get to the World Championships and you have to race for real.
You make a good point there. I can concede and say you made a good point. I'm not convinced, but you made a good point. Someone's convinced. It's not me.